Hey guys, I'm going to do another Golf Clash video. Nothing good in that chest. Nothing good in that chest. Recently, yesterday, they gave me the Apocalypse. So I went ahead and bought about 10 cards and got it up to a level 6. So I've been playing with that. Another thing I have my bag set up for right now is Hammerhead and Saturn I got in here, which I don't usually play with, but when I go down and play with less wind, I'll go ahead and put it on more accurate clubs. Another thing I could use is Sniper. Some guys just use Sniper the whole way through the game. I don't like forfeiting the yards that I have to forfeit to use it, so I don't really use that one. Not a huge fan. But I will put it on if I go down to a lower tour like this. Either that or Hammerhead. I think I prefer the Hammerhead just slightly. So now with the Apocalypse 6, I'm getting a lot more front spin here. I'm up to like 76 front spin. Let me see. Looks like I can pretty much aim anywhere in here and be perfectly fine. Sometimes I'll go a little bit more aggressive and put a Titan on here. This time I think I'm just going to stick with this. Just switch it to a Navigator. Do the same shot. A little bit extra wind resistance. And as you can see with the Apocalypse 6, you can really get it to no wind there. You really get it down that fairway. If I would have used the Titan, I would have probably been right in the 450 range. Probably just short of the green there by about 20 yards. I'm going to show you guys how to play a wedge shot here. Normally I might go for the dunk from here, depending on how low the wind is, which with that much wind I would definitely go for the dunk here. I would basically get it with a perfect ball basically every time. I'm going to do it with the short iron here instead. See, I want to avoid this spot, a little glitchy. In fact, that whole area is a little glitchy. See if we can do it with a backspin shot. As you can see, really didn't play around with the wind too much. I knew that the ball really wasn't going to move on a 0.6, especially when it's pointed kind of straight. Not a lot of my trajectory there was going to be changed. As you can see, the reason that I switched from how I was going to go in the front way to the back way, when I was rolling my finger up and down there, the trail was moving on both ends of the cup. There's no point of risking the way the ball's going to hop. So you always want to make sure wherever you're putting it, you have room for margin of error. Just in case it lands a foot off of where you are aiming, you want to make sure a foot off of where you're aiming isn't going to completely change the outcome of the shot, which it looked like mine was going to actually do. So that's the reason that I played it the way I did. So let me see if I can go back to that tour. I just want to show you guys some shots with some less winds. It really, from time to time, it makes taking your game back down to this level makes you really focus on a little bit more precision with what you need to do. And you can see, because when you're only playing a little bit of break, you can really see how that's affecting the way your ball tends to fly. And whether or not you overplay something or underplay it, it makes it really easy to get a good sense of how accurate you're being with your measurements. Because if you can't be very consistent with your wind plays on the low winds, just imagine how bad it's going to be once it's magnified by a factor of 3 or 4 when you're playing 7 to 10 mile per hour winds. So this hole I usually do a navigator on this one as well. I really don't need a lot of length with the clubs that I have in my bag. So I'll typically kind of go at it like this. Perfect ball. I was still able to get it to 400 yards with navigator, so the longer you get on that tee shot, the easier the second shot becomes. Ideally, you want to make the longest landing zone possible for your ball. It really gets you to cut that angle to where you could actually get the ball over towards the hole. When you're landing it where this guy is, he really doesn't have anything he can do here other than just play it safe. Just get it to thread up through there, in between the rough and the bunkers on the right. The way that I'm going to play it is a bit different. Sure, I could do what he just did, probably 100 out of 100 times, and then get it up and just make the putt on easy conditions like this. But I'm going to do something a little bit more risky, just for demonstration purposes. I'm going to try to land it up here a little bit farther, which, as you can see, is kind of changing the angle a bit. And it'll really let me get a little bit more aggressive with the way I play this shot. So as you can see, kind of over here on the left, it still seems pretty good. The only thing I'm questioning right now is if I'm going to run it through this fairway with this much topspin. I'll take a little bit off just to be on the safe side. And I'm going to go at this kind of here. I was going for more of a perfect ball, so I think this, that's okay. It's okay. But you can see it's, you want to avoid that bunker. And it looks like I probably could have got away with that four bars there. And it looks like I was favoring the left side a little bit too much, because I had plenty of room to play there. I wasn't really close to the bunker. I thought it was going to be really close to the bunker when I hit that great ball, because I probably missed my landing zone by about 3 yards. With as much as I shanked that, at least 3.5. So this guy missed his putt, rolled a little bit short. I'm going to go ahead and miss mine too. That way we can go to the extra holes. See some tiebreakers. So one of the things you want to try to do with that, if you can get long enough, and of course you could always put a Titan on for this hole if you really need to play it the way that I did. Get it up, get your drives up around 400 yards if you're on these tours. You could probably do it with a Titan, even if you don't have, the same clubs that I have. So the way that I'll do this one, well, I don't usually do this when it's into the wind, but I'll go for this rough shot right here. It's going to be a lot more difficult to do. I need something like a Goliath to do it. So I'm going to have to play this a little bit different than I usually do. Looks like maybe 2 yards of, probably aim right in here a little bit, and then I'll probably do a curl as well. I'm probably going to need about 2 rings up, so I'm putting it basically at the top of the red there, and I'm going to curl it. Perfect ball. Try to hit that landing zone, and then I put that curl on it to try to get it to come all the way over. Now, as you see, it didn't make it the whole way over. Probably should have got a little bit more aggressive with my line. Another thing you can do is you can just ride the slope as opposed to curling it. But what I feel like if you do that, it can get a little bit more risky, because then you have to really have the speed down, and you got to have your angle down. Just a little bit tougher shot. And of course you can always go at it the way this guy is. I could have still hit this shot, but again, this one to me also, it brings up the same problem. You have to really play this very precisely to get those bounces that you need on this hole. And I usually do it so I don't usually do it the way this guy is, where he's curling it so much, because what he's going to end up doing this way is it's not going to hit all those bounces that it was showing. You see, he kind of cut through it, and it really changed the outline of his shot. He could have almost went straight at that one and probably had better results if he would have hit that exact same shot with no curl. See if we can get a couple more holes in this tour. This way I can just kind of dedicate one video to this tour. It'd be nice. So let's see if I can get somebody to come into this one. All right, I stepped away for a minute. I am back. I'm going to try to go at this with a Apocalypse 6 here. I'm definitely going to put on a Titan because I wanted to use this as my landing zone. With that much headwind, I'm going to want a little bit of topspin as well. It's not going to want to get there otherwise. So let's go at it like this. Got a great ball. That should be close enough. I don't know if I have enough topspin on this though. I didn't. That was a human error there. Should have added just a tiny bit more. It just needed to clear that rough. When you add topspin, it likes to run out. If you don't put the topspin on, then it checks up kind of nice. So like typically I might go at this, like if I wasn't straight into the wind there, I would have used my navigator and just did that full ball shot like I did, probably not put topspin on it, and it checks up pretty nice. The only reason I added something there, I was thinking about adding a tiny bit more, but I didn't want it to run through. And then let's see, I'm still at a spot where I'm about maybe 80% of, with as low as this wind is, I don't have to move this outside the hole. I just need to put it like right there. And that's more than enough wind play there. More than enough. It's probably an overplay. And then with the, especially when you add in that baby great ball that I just hit, made it even worse. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of margin of error on the dunk shot. And that's why you see a lot of guys switching over to that shot, is because of how consistent it can be. What I do is I just move the even on a long one like that, as long as the wind was less, you really don't have to play very much. You can basically, you would have needed to move it like half of the ring, the width of that ring, that inner ring, or less. And of course, this guy was able to get his anyway. That was a good one. Which that's going to make, again, hopefully another tiebreaker. I'm hoping we get the cliff hole this time. Nope. We got this one. This one's good too. The way I do this one is definitely with backspin, Saturn. So I'm going to try to do it with looks like that's about 6.5 bars, give or take. And I'm going to try to get it to land just to the right of, just to the left of the hole here, like right in there. Utilize the slope a little bit. And I stopped it. I actually thought that was going to at least go forward a little bit. I didn't think it was going to completely stop on the downslope like that, but it did. And what's good about my shot, he can't exactly copy it. He has to hit a little bit different shot with Goliath, because Goliath doesn't have that much backspin. So that's one of the approaches that you'll see me do from time to time, is I'll do a shot that certain people, unless they were playing Saturn, which many guys don't play Saturn, well, they're not going to be able to replicate my shot. And I'll do the same thing. Like, I know a lot of guys play sniper, so I'll try to hit a shot that I know a sniper can't hit. It's just kind of good strategy if you're going first. Of course, if you're going second, no big deal. But just something to think about for a first strategy. Another thing, if it's more of a challenging hole, you might want to do something that would be hard to replicate. Like, for example, if it was a hole where, you know, it can be tough to get it right on the pin anyway, you might just want to get a little bit more creative with your approach and do like a little bit of curl, maybe a little bit of extra power, just something that makes it a little bit harder for a guy to replicate. Just kind of a nice little strategy. So one of the things I'm going to check is how far I can go. It's nice to use Titans on this, believe it or not. And one of the biggest reasons is because of the off chance that you'll be able to go for it on the second shot. I would need the wind. So since I don't have the wind, I'm just gonna, or since I don't know if I'm gonna have the wind, should I say, is probably a better way to put that. I'm just gonna switch it down. And you want to try to get it down pretty good to the end of this fairway, regardless. So if I would have been going for this with a Titan, I would have tried to even get it even tighter than that. Sometimes I rode it into the rough. But if I can get it right on that tip, if I had my Cataclysm in the bag, I would have just hit the Titan for you guys. Because from where I'm at, any downwind, anything that's between 9 and 3 clockwise, that would be considered a downwind or side wind, I'd be able to get over with my Cataclysm. Or anything that has 180 yards carry. Or 179, for example, Guardian. Guardian would carry over. As you can see here, this is never going to be over. So the shot that I'll take here is a little bit different. I'm still going to do full top spin. I'm going to go for this. It's a bit tougher shot. I know that I have to go at least, trying to remember here with Navigator. So there's like 2 full complete rings. I know I have to go more than this, but I don't want to overgo. I think it might be like around here, 2.5-ish. Oh, I might not make it. Looks like I got it off just in the nick of time. It doesn't even matter because I underplayed it. Looks like I probably had to go a full 3 rings there in order to still land on the fairway. Like if you notice how I was stacking the rings, like 1, 2, 3, with as accurate as my hammerhead is. So sometimes when I'm not adding power, that's when I take off a little bit, and that's what I did. I did 2.5, 2.6 rings, maybe 2.6 complete sets, when I should have probably still did 3. And that's just more so than anything, just not enough playing on these tours to figure it out. So this guy will be over, but he's going to hit his in the bunker. That's the difference. The way that I was playing the shot, I wouldn't have hit this bunker. I would have been on par. I would have been, I mean, as you can see, like my ball was already going for the right of the hole. So let's see what I can get here. Kind of want to make sure, you know, you're not getting any funky bounces or anything like that. And as you can see, I'm not. Even on this fringe, it looks like I'm still pretty good. That's probably how I'm going to play it. No backspin, no front spin. Just going to kind of go at it like this. 0.5 wind. I'm going to keep it inside the hole. 0.5 wind isn't going to play too much. Perfect ball. Eagle. The most important thing there was the perfect ball. And also the next most important is making sure that you're not landing short or long of your zone. So making sure your power depth is set at the right spot. So what I'll do is I'll go right to the center and then just a little bit past center. Kind of like where you see this guy. That's exactly how I'll play it if I want to ensure that the ball comes out the way that it's supposed to. Is I pull my shot thing back to exactly where he did. Now, if he would have had a perfect ball, probably would have made that. Or at least he would have been really close. So as you guys can see, we're getting a broad range of holes, which is kind of what I wanted. Sometimes they'll give me a lot of the same holes, and then I just won't post the video because we just keep getting the same holes over and over. There's no point in me posting the same hole 4 times. Or even 3 times. Like, it's just too many times to see the same. But this video, it has a lot of diverse holes. And ever since they did the new update yesterday, that Halloween update, it seems like they've been adding holes to certain courses. Like adding holes to this tour. So one of the things, I'm glad that they pulled this hole up. So I've been going for a little bit different shot here, and I wanted to show you guys. I'm not sure that you guys are doing it, but if you can do this, I highly encourage it. So one of the things that I'll do is I'll make this like my frame of reference here as to kind of where I want to land it, kind of. And then I'll adjust and do like a full curl shot to where it's going around. So as you can see kind of where I'm aiming in that bunker. And then I'll just do a full slice on a navigator. And what this is going to do is it's getting it way up here where you can optimize the fairway. I could have even went one more up bar. And I'm getting it way right where nobody else can get it. It's very hard to get it to curl over there completely to the right where I am. One of the benefits of being over there, well, I don't have to worry about that guy trying to replicate my shot because he's probably not going to be at the same spot. He's going to be coming in from an entirely different angle. See, this is what you'll see is most guys, they'll try to run it to the end of the fairway on the same line as where he just did. But he wouldn't have the same trajectory coming in here as me. So I'm still not able to hit a backspin shot with Saturn. So since I can't do a backspin shot, I'm going to show you this forward spin shot that I've been doing. This is about 3.5 bars I'm using here. Let's do 4.5 bars. Do it about here. 2.4, this is uphill. So I'm going to underplay this wind a bit. I'm going to play it maybe just outside of where you saw my yellow. That's where I'm going to play it. Perfect ball. And I overplayed it still. So that's how much your uphill shots are affected by the wind. I went probably just one little ring over, just a shade outside that, and I was still not even close. Like, I completely overplayed that wind. So I had to go less than one. All I had to do there was keep it inside the bullseye, which was yellow. I didn't even have to move my shot arrow outside the yellow for that wind. And this guy, he definitely hit a pretty nice shot up there. After this hole, I'm going to go ahead and shut this video down for you guys. This is a nice half hour of content. And I'm going to basically just kind of label this as good, basically a good Tour 3 guide. This hole, Sakura Hills, we got a lot of the holes done, at least a good 60% of them they gave me. So you guys got a nice little video for this tour. At least how to execute some shots. You might want to play around with, that hook shot that I just did on this hole. Chances are with your driver, it's going to be a little bit different. Unless you have something very similar accuracy-wise. It's probably going to want to... So let's see if we can get something that's downwind or sidewind here. That might be good enough. So I did want to go ahead and show you guys this shot. And I think this wind is going to be good enough to do it. I'm probably just going to add just a tiny bit of power, just a touch. So let me see. If I land here, it's not going to be good enough. Let me see. So I'm going to aim about here. I'm going to, since of that wind, I'm going to just overplay it just a tiny bit. Oh, come on. It says out of time. I really wanted you guys to see that one. You see what I just did there? I did half a bar. It was more than good enough. It gets to the hole. I had to add just a touch of power. As you see, I wasn't really doing that much extra. That's okay. You're going to get to see this guy do it. Now, he should basically replicate my shot. It looks like he's kind of trying to. It looks like he's doing a little bit more than half a bar. With Goliath, you're actually able to play the wind. So see, he doesn't have to add any extra power. This is the shot that I was going for. I've gotten many hole-in-ones on this hole like this. And his might just stop. I was a little worried that it's rolling out, but that's exactly what I was trying to do. So I'm glad that it sucks because we might have both had this hole and we might have went into a tiebreaker. So that's just a nice little demo for you guys as to how to play that one. I wouldn't take off into the wind like he just did. I wouldn't have took off quite as much as he did. As you can see, his ball was about to stop. Like it was getting very close to stopping. So he did about maybe 0.75 of one of those bars on his Goliath. If you're using Goliath, it's much easier to play that hole. Much easier to play that shot because you could almost go at it with any wind. Same with Tsunami. So I'll have it with Tsunami. The only problem with my Tsunami is I got to basically remember how it runs out because I can't see the ball trail. So I have to just kind of memorize that shot shape that it takes. But I'll be able to play any wind with a Tsunami. So I'll still be able to get it. But the Goliath is probably the best club for that hole. Until my Tsunami's a 7. Probably Goliath is probably better club for just that hole. I think overall I have that because Goliath, you can't get the backspin. So there's certain holes that, like for example, that one hole that I just played, you saw me hit the rough shot with like the 5 bars of topspin, 4.5 bars. I would have been able to land Tsunami up on the green and just go full backspin. You can't do that with Goliath. So, Tsunami has an advantage a lot of the time. But on these less winds, I'll definitely go for a little bit more precision. So that's why you see me have Saturn on. Anyway, hopefully you guys find this video useful. If you have any other questions or want me to do any other videos, feel free to comment on this video and I'll try to answer the best of my knowledge. And good luck. Hopefully you guys find this video useful.